Have you ever seen an ad for chicken or milk with a happy animal in a sunny field and thought, is that really the whole story? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating report from the group Ad-Free Cities. It really digs into the huge gap between how products like meat, eggs, and dairy are advertised and how they're actually produced. Okay, so this image from the report's cover, it pretty much says it all. You've got these beautiful, picture-perfect ads for ham, milk, and eggs. But hiding right behind them is a totally different reality, a massive industrial factory farm. The report is really asking a simple but powerful question. What if the ads we see every single day aren't just selling us something, but are actually hiding the full story?
So, to kick things off, the report establishes this core conflict right up front. The world we see in ads versus the actual world of modern animal agriculture. And wow, does this slide hit you with the contrast? On the left, you've got this glossy ad for the Happy Egg Co., a healthy-looking hen, a sunny green field. But on the right, that's an undercover photo cited in the report from a farm that was supplying that very same company. And it shows hens in these crowded, really stressful conditions. That visual disconnect right there is exactly what the Ad-Free Cities report is all about. And we're not talking about a small niche problem here. To give you a sense of the scale, the report states that over 3/4 of the UK's farmed land animals are confined on what are defined as factory farms. And the numbers are just staggering. According to the report's sources, we're talking about over 12 billion chickens being slaughtered in the UK every single year. And this system, it's growing. The report points out that there are now over 1,000 of these industrial-sized mega farms all across the UK. Some of them can find over 1 million chickens in just one location. So, what do these places look like from the outside? Well, a lot like this: giant, windowless sheds. The report makes the argument that this whole system is basically designed to be secret, keeping the reality of how food is produced out of sight, and because of that, out of our minds. Which, of course, brings us to the big question the report tries to answer. If this is the reality for so many animals, why did the ads we see paint such a completely different picture? Is it just, marketing, or is there something more systematic going on? Well, the report argues it is absolutely not an accident. It actually identifies a specific set of strategies that are used over and over again, a set of strategies it calls the advertising playbook. So the first tactic in this playbook is really simple, but incredibly effective: erase the animal. It's all about removing the living, breathing creature from the story of the food that ends up on your plate. The report quotes Professor Aren Stibbe, who just nails this concept. It's about erasing the animal as a sensitive being, which makes it a whole lot easier for us to eat the final product without really thinking about where it came from. The report points to a bunch of examples, like this KFC ad. It also brings up a pretty infamous TV commercial from KFC that had chickens dancing to a rap song. The argument here is that by showing this weird, distorted, almost cartoonish version of a chicken, the ad completely distracts from the actual conditions those animals are raised in, conditions which, even in KFC's own reports, involve breeds that grow so fast it can lead to suffering. All right, tactic number 2 is a term you might have actually heard before. It's called humane washing. So what is it exactly? Well, the report uses this definition from the Animal Legal Defense Fund. And basically, it's using marketing to make misleading claims about how well animals are treated, all to make us feel better about what we're buying. So let's look at this Sainsbury's ad, which claims its chickens have more room to perch and play. Sounds great, right? But the report actually digs into what that means. It turns out 20% more room than the industry minimum still means really crowded conditions. We're talking about 15 chickens crammed into a single square meter. It's a perfect example of language that sounds good, but doesn't really reflect the full reality. The third tactic from the playbook we'll cover is one the report calls objectifying the animal, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's about turning a living thing into, well, a thing. And the report breaks down a few ways this is done. Advertisers might talk about animals like their property, like an Arla ad that calls its cows our girls. They use cartoon characters. The laughing cow is a classic example to create distance from a real animal. Or they'll even portray animals as being happy to be eaten, a tactic the report argues is designed to shut down our natural sense of empathy. Okay, so these tactics don't just exist on their own. The report argues that when you put them all together, their effect is much, much bigger. It's about shaping what our entire culture thinks of as normal. I mean, just look around you. On our streets, on our screens, you see ads just like these everywhere. The report's point is that the sheer volume of these ads makes eating a lot of meat feel like a totally normal, unquestionable part of everyday life. It just normalizes it.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The report highlights two different rulings from the UK's Advertising Standards Authority. On one hand, you had that KFC dancing chicken ad. It got 755 complaints, with people saying it was distressing, but no action was taken. Then you have a vegan campaign ad that showed images of animal suffering. It got just 63 complaints, but it was banned for being too distressing. The report presents this as clear evidence of a possible double standard, where hiding the reality is okay, but showing it isn't.
And the report really wraps up this whole idea with a quote from social psychologist Melanie Joy. The argument is simple. By making the mass consumption of animal products seem totally normal and natural, advertising helps keep the whole system that supports it invisible, and when something's invisible, it doesn't get questioned. So, after laying out this really deep analysis of the problem, the report doesn't just stop there, which is great. It finishes with a direct call for change. It puts forward 4 main recommendations. Number 1, just end advertising for intensively farmed products. 2, give local councils the power to create their own ethical advertising policies. 3, encourage all of us to expose misleading ads by actually complaining to the regulators. And finally, work to create more ad-free public spaces by challenging outdoor billboards. At the end of the day, the Ad-Free Cities report argues that advertising doesn't just sell us products, it sells us a story. It creates this comfortable fiction that allows a huge hidden system to keep running without much of a challenge. But here's the thing. Once you learn to see the playbook, the erased animals, the humane washing, the objectification, you kind of can't unsee it. And that's the real takeaway here. The ads are everywhere. So now that you know how to decode them, what will you see?